Welcome, maybe welcome back. So you have a shed. Maybe you've got an old shed that somebody left behind. Maybe you bought one. Regardless, you've got a space that you need to fix up or you want to change in some way. There are many benefits to having a workshop on site for whatever you're doing. Be it gardening, fixing up cars, making stuff out of wood, metal work, it could be anything. I'm Tyler from Homegrown Haven Farm, and these are my 5 tips for turning your backyard shed into a fully functioning workshop. It's a little drippy outside today. I made this workshop basically from the ground up, excluding purchasing the shed. We actually just had the shed to begin with. It started with just one tool. It was actually that sander right there. And I just went from there. I got more tools, one after the next. It was either a birthday present or just some extra money I had. And slowly I accumulated an entire wood shop worth of tools. And it is pretty useful, I tell you what.
Ravioli, ravioli, give me the formuloli.
Tip number 1, hang everything. If you've got a small shop, then space is hard to find. So you really need to organize everything the best you can, and hanging everything, storing things vertically, is probably one of the best ways that you can do that. In my shop, if it can hang, it will hang. Even some things that don't necessarily hang, I've built to store on the wall, like my wood clamps, and this fan over here. I actually built a little bracket so it can actually just hang on the wall. It keeps everything out of the way. You need as much space as possible to work in your shop. Even in this shop now, there are some things that I need to get rid of, but that's just the way it is sometimes. Tip number 2, get rid of what you do not need, and that includes tools. I know that might be kind of hard, especially for me. It is very difficult to get rid of things.
No one cares about your robot fan fiction.
But I know that I have to do it in order to keep a tidy shop. I do not have enough space to be a hoarder. I have to go through my crap every so often. If you can get rid of it, you should. I've been in this shop for a little over 2 years now, and there are things that I use very often, and there are other things that I haven't used at all in over 2 years. And that should be kind of your tipping point, you know? Like, if you haven't used something for over 2 years, maybe you should just get rid of it. Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Are you going to use that thing after 2 years of it sitting there?
No!
You better get on it.
No!
So that brings me to tip number 3, I guess, which is make your projects smaller. Here I'm working on some blocks. These are actually for my daughter Clover. The smaller the project, the better, because you can fit more than one project at a time in a small shop. If you're going to be working on something that's large, it's going to be tough for you to fit it in a small shop. You're just going to have trouble finding a place to store it whenever you're working on it. It just takes up so much room and time. It's a headache.
Why are you running? Why?
Tip number 4, clean as you go. I actually learned this while working in kitchens. It's pretty important to keep your area clear as you work, which I really don't have going on right now, but that's because I have a lot of painting set up, and I don't really have a painting area. That's a whole separate thing. When you're working in a small area, it is very important to continually clean your space. Clean your work surfaces. Make sure that all your tools are put back. Make sure that there's no dust accumulating. Not only is this going to save you time on your projects, but it's going to save you a big headache whenever you're looking for some tool later that you have lost. It's just the right way to do things. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just ignore this, just totally ignore this, and they'll just have the messiest shop you've ever seen in your life. Just scrap metal, wood strewn all over the floor. You know, I'm no stranger to that, but you have to be able to clean up, organize, and figure out what you've got, where you've got it, and how you can work with it.
Oh, baby, a triple!
And that brings me to my final tip, number 5, work outside. That might seem a little counterintuitive for preparing a shop, but You're going to have to do that sometimes in any shop. Expect to work outside sometimes on larger projects. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. You might want to have a toolbox on hand so that you can grab the tools that are necessary for whatever project and bring them with you. I keep an area in my backyard right here. I purposefully keep this clear so that I can work on larger things. I also keep this little alleyway in front of the greenhouse clear. We might put some potted plants here whenever the growing season hits, but you know, they are cleared for a reason. It just makes sense. Get used to working outside a little bit. I wouldn't get too crazy about it because, you know, I don't like working whenever it's extremely cold or extremely hot, but it is a necessary part of doing this kind of work. There are a lot of benefits to having a workshop on hand. It wouldn't have been possible for me to make any of this garden, the greenhouse, anything like that without this workshop. Sometimes you just have to be able to get things done in a certain way with what you have, and having a place like this where you can bang a hammer as loud as you can, run some saws, it is invaluable to the way that we do things. But with that, those are my tips. I'm going to wrap this up. I am Tyler from Homegrown Haven Farm. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, whatever you would like to do. Don't give up. Keep growing. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a good one. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Make sure to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new here. Spread it around if you really liked it. Ooh. I'm Tyler from Homegrown Haven Farm. This is Clover. We'll see you guys next time. Clover just learned how to do the sound. Get rid of what you do not need. Do not need.